it seems that the Commonwealth Games is jinxed. For a very, very peculiar reason and also for a very practical reason, we all were hoping that Victoria 2026 will see a new chapter in the Commonwealth Games. But in a shocker, the Victorian Premier made an announcement today that the Commonwealth Games in 2026 will not be hosted in Victoria. This is the second consecutive time that the original host nation cannot host this Commonwealth Games. What are the reasons? And as I had mentioned, second consecutive time, when was the first? In this video, I will give you all the answers and why this particular moment is a turning point in Victoria State in Australia. So the main reason as to why Victoria cannot host the Commonwealth Games of 2026 is that State Premier Daniel Andrews, he announced funding issues. Primarily because the state will go into massive debt if you host the Commonwealth Games. Original forecast budget was 2.6 billion AUD. Now it will go up to 6 AUD billion. That is the problem. From 2.6, it's almost a double-fold increase when you look at the Games estimation. So from 2.6 to 6 billion by the time of 2026-27. So that is a major issue. Not confident about raising that much funds from the state. This is the situation that Daniel Andrews, the Victoria State Premier, has said, that they are not confident that they can host these games within this budget. Now, he goes on to further elaborate this point by stating, will not take money out of hospitals and schools in order to fund an event that is 3 times the cost estimation and budget for last year. That is the problem. Victoria, as a welfare state in Australia, they will not take the budget that is allocated to them for schools and hospitals and then go about trying to host the Commonwealth Games. Now, this is the major problem, state debt. State debt is due to rise to AUD 135.4 billion in 2024-25. What is the major issue? Estimates state it could rise to AUD 171.4 billion in 2026-27. So the state debt is only going to rise. Price escalation will be there on a lot of things, and that's why Commonwealth Games will not be hosted in 2026 and 27. Now, what are the prime factors which is leading to this kind of a price rise? It gets even better when the Commonwealth Games Federation gave a statement that yes, we are very disappointed with Australia that they will not be able to host it in 2026, especially Victoria. They said number of AUD 6 billion is actually 50% more than advised to organizing committee in June. 50%. That means it was much lower, but because the price rise estimation is such, they completely misunderstood and misinterpreted the cost. Price escalation is on 3 basic factors. The Games Village, that will have to be rebuilt from scratch. The venue, transport infrastructure and regional delivery model. Now, what is this regional delivery model? Whatever that they build, be it the village, be it venues, be it the transport infrastructure, it is all coming under the sustainable development model. That means it gives rise to a lot of help in the community as well. Whatever they build, it will give rise to even the community. So, in that sense, price escalation because of villages, sustainable mode of transport, sustainable development when it comes to economy, local economy as well, that is the reason why prices have increased. For sustainable development, for economic and ecological development as well, the price rise is huge. If you have to look at it from the very beginning, Victoria's bid was jinxed because CGF, the Commonwealth Games Federation, had awarded the bid to Victoria after process was hampered due to lack of bidders. Why were there no lack of bidders when it came up in 2020, 2021? You guessed it, COVID. COVID had ensured that because the budgets of every nation was totally scuppered by COVID, there were lack of bidders for this particular moment. Second consecutive Commonwealth Games where the original host withdrew. Victoria is not the first. The first was actually Durban. Durban withdrew, and that's why Birmingham got the chance in 2022. And the reasons? You guessed it. The same issues. Price escalation, sustainability, the development model, all these kind of things became a major issue even for Durban. That's why if you look at it, South Africa has not hosted a Commonwealth Games for a very, very long time. If memory serves me right, never. So now, who all can come into the fray when it comes to the Commonwealth Games? Sydney and South Australia, mostly Adelaide, they have expressed interest in the bid. However, dark horses are India and Malaysia, because remember 1998 Kuala Lumpur, that was the last time they had hosted the games in Malaysia. India 2010. So even India and Malaysia have also expressed interest. There could be another twist in the tale. Birmingham, which hosted 2022, they could host it back to back. And why back to back could happen? Because the existing infrastructure is already in place. They haven't dismantled it yet. So that is why whatever infrastructure is there in Birmingham, it could be used very well for 2026 as well. So there is a slight possibility that Birmingham could host back to back Commonwealth Games. It has never happened in history that one nation or one venue has hosted multi-sport events back to back. Now, the fallout is huge in Victoria. Many of the opponents of Premier Daniel Andrews have said that this is a betrayal for Victoria because the sporting culture, the sporting heritage will take a massive, massive knock when it comes to this. However, whatever is the budget allocation in that, Daniel Andrews has stated that there will be more sustainable homes, 1,300 new homes will be built in Victoria, and the transport and infrastructure, sporting stadia, especially the one that is near Melbourne, that will be upgraded. But as of now, this is the situation, a very, very sad day when it comes to the Commonwealth Games, that Victoria will not host it. Sydney or Adelaide could host it, it remains to be seen now. But for now, goodbye Birmingham 2022, hello Victoria 2026, that will have to change in the tagline. Thank you so much folks for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live, and don't forget we are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well.